Hello and welcome to Tarrant County College. My name is Cherie Lopez and I will be your instructor for this STSC Transitions to College Success course. If this is your very first semester at Tarrant County College, I want to be one of the first people to welcome you to the TCC family, the virtual family. And for those of you that have been with us since the beginning of the semester back in January, or if you were with us in a previous year, maybe even further back in the day when we were still TCJC. Yes, I know about TCJC. Then welcome back. We're glad that you're back. And, here's my virtual greeting to you all. So the purpose of today's video is threefold. So one, it's to help you put a face with the name so then you can meet your instructor. So ta-da! Here I am, Cherie Lopez. I'm also a full-time academic advisor for the Tarrant County College South Campus that's located in Fort Worth. In addition to that, I actually teach for 3 of our 6 campuses. I didn't sit there and count and think, what am I doing right now? So I teach for the South Campus in Fort Worth. I teach for the Southeast Campus that's located in Arlington, as well as this campus, TCC Connect, which is the actual online campus, even though everything is essentially online right now, but the actual online campus is TCC Connect. So that's kind of just the gist of, kind of what I do around the college and stuff like that. This is my 12th year? 12th year. Yeah, 12th year. I'm working for TCC, going on 13. I started working here in June 2008, and then in October of 2010. Yeah, 2010. That's when I became full-time. So they got me fresh out of undergrad. I hadn't even, been out of college a year when I started teaching here. And I've gotten to work for all 3 divisions. I've gotten to teach in our ESL department, English as a second language. I've gotten to teach GD, which is also known as high school equivalency. I've taught this class, taught a couple of other things. Basically, wherever they tell me to go, I'm like, okay. And then I just roll with it. So yeah, if you see me in more than one place, and it does happen where people are kind of like, wait, I just saw her over here and now she's over here. That's because I am on essentially everyone's payroll. I make moves all over Tarrant County, except for right now, because we're all working from home. The other thing that I wanted to cover with the class is what the purpose of the Transitions to College Success class is, as well as how do you log in to access our information, like where is that going to be located. I haven't completely turned everything on yet. And if there's any types of special materials or supplies that you need to be successful in our particular course. And then from there, I'm going to let you guys get back to enjoying your spring break, and I'll see y'all in a week online, okay? So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so first things first, take a look at your schedule. Let's make sure you are in the right place, because I'm also teaching classes this summer, so we need to make sure that, you're attached to the proper class. Shouldn't happen as much online, but it does happen in person, where I have people that show up during the wrong semester because I'm teaching every 8 weeks, or they might show up at a different campus like, hey, I'm signed up for your class, and it's like, you're in my Arlington class 20 miles that way. It does happen. It happens like every semester when we're in person. So it's all good. It's good practice run. Okay, so your class should say STSC 0111-86160. So that's our unique course number for the second 8 weeks. Our class begins on Monday, March 22nd, 2021, and ends on Wednesday, May 12th, 2021. So yeah, it's a Wednesday. I know, like, the end date sounds kind of weird, but it kind of needs to end there. For the students that have a little bit more seniority. In our case, grades will be due Friday by noon, so I have to get everything for your class graded on Wednesday and Thursday night after working my advising shift until 7. So I have to stay up those nights really late and get that stuff done. And then that weekend is commencement for the people that are graduating. So we have to get those grades done by Friday at noon at the latest. That is normally a all-nighter for me. Like the last time I had to do it, I was up till 5 a.m. We're gonna see how that goes this time around, since I have a 7-month-old that's not quite crawling yet, but she rolls back and forth. So I don't know how this is gonna work, but we'll figure it out. All right, so let's look at how to log in. Okay, and I'm using Google Chrome. You can use Microsoft Edge or Safari or Firefox if you'd like. Probably wouldn't use Internet Explorer because the updates, well, they don't really update it that often. So full functionality just isn't there. For those of y'all that have never logged in, I'm gonna start with WebAdvisor just to show you what the login information is going to be. Just in case you need it, or if you need to send it to a friend. Okay, and I'm just gonna go down here to password help, or if you need to reset your password and stuff locks up on you. Okay, so this is your initial default password. So capital T, 2 lowercase c's, your 7-digit student ID number, also known as your colleague ID. So that's the number we give you from the school, and your 6-digit date of birth, 2-digit month, 2-digit day, 2-digit year, and it is case sensitive, so you gotta watch. So it's uppercase T, 2 lowercase c's, and then you should be able to go in there. Your username is your school email. If you need to change your password or anything else like that, you're able to change it from here. Set up your self-service password options, like you can send like a reset code to your cell phone or your personal email. Like there's other things that you can do. And then if you're still just locked out and your stuff's not working, then this is the tech support phone number. So if you or a friend or family member needs the number, it's right here, 817-515-6411. And every number from TCC starts with 817-515. So that's how you will know it's us calling you if we need to reach out to you for anything. All right? Okay, and then once you sign in, most of y'all should have seen this screen before. I would say it's possible that you may not have seen it if you were registered manually by another advisor or success coach. Otherwise, if you registered yourself, you've been in here. So if you go into the student menu, everything that has to do with your student record is here. So if you need to update your contact information, like your address or your phone number, that's done here. If you need your schedule and fee statement, like maybe your job does tuition reimbursement, that's here. Your tax information's here in case you still need to file taxes. If you need a verification of enrollment worksheet, I just had 2 requests for those last week. That's going to be right here. No, I know some people need it for their jobs as well. If you need to update your academic program, if you need to plan and register for classes. Timing for you guys is very interesting because on the day that our class starts, guess what? Maymester and summer registration opens. That means the classes that start in May, June, and July, you're able to register that same morning. And the fall 2021 schedule will open. So that's your classes that start in August and the handful of ones that start in October. They will open that day. You can't register, but you can plan out your schedule. So that's really helpful for those of y'all that need to provide your employer with the schedule. You'll be able to pre-plan everything through December, the week we start classes. So I will make sure once everything goes live, I'll probably record a second video that kind of shows you a little bit how to navigate through that system. I got to play with the student side a little bit more since they just updated it. Those of y'all that registered back when registration opened last October, the system looks different now. We went through a system update on March 1st. So things have gotten moved around or they've been phased out and everything's getting phased into MyTCC track or the student planning system. But it lets you map out what you're going to be doing over like a series of semesters, like well over like a year and a half in advance. All right. Also, if you need to submit any documents such as your meningitis vaccinations, reactivate your record, anything like that, it's all here, right? The link to your school email is here, and it's a Gmail account. So if you have your email synced to your phone or your tablet or your personal laptop or desktop computer, then you're able to also add this account to it. Like when you go to add an account, you'll enter your TCC email and it will redirect you to our page, and you enter your email and your TCC password, and what it should do is it should sync to that account. There should be a MyTCC or Blackboard app up as well, and the MyTCC portal is where your work is going to be. So for our class, it's going to be there. Those of y'all that are going to be with us over the summer, they're getting ready to change the platform, but for our classes, it doesn't affect you right now. Okay, and it's thinking, there it goes. Okay, so MyTCC Blackboard. It's actually the same system. MyTCC is just our name for Blackboard. I mean, we even used Blackboard at my school. I went to UT Austin and we used that, but we called it something else. Okay. And then what you'll see down here is your courses. So what you would do is you would look under spring 2021 and you would have a list of all of your active classes. They populate on this side 1 week after, 1 week before the start date. So you have to look at your schedule and read the start date and count backwards 7 days. And I know that there's even some classes that would have been weekend college classes that start the 26th, for example. So they may not have been visible like the week, like right on the 15th or the 16th. They'll populate a few days later. So you'll have stuff that kind of like pings here and there. All right. But it should automatically show up on your schedule and fee statement in WebAdvisor, or in student planning. You should be able to see it there. Okay. When you go into class, most of your stuff is going to be here. So this is our class right here. And then anytime I need to make any type of announcements, I'll post them here, and I post the announcements and push them straight to your email. So that way, in case you accidentally delete it or you get a mountain of emails from your other classes, all is not lost. It's all still here. Because you guys can't delete the announcements. I'm the only one that can actually edit those. Okay. Your lessons are going to be here. I have not posted them yet because it never fails. Somebody always goes in there before class starts, like a week before school starts. And then they start messing with stuff and it blocks up, or they open up something that we haven't covered yet. They get a 20 on it and then I have to go back in there and reset it. Not really a big deal if it's 1 or 2 people, but there's 30 of you guys in one class alone. So it ends up being really time consuming if multiple people do it across multiple classes. The way that you'll be able to check your grades for our class is going to be here. If you need tutoring for any of the various subjects, you'll be able to access it. Our office hours will be held in Blackboard Collaborate. So the way I do office hours, so this is how you can do your virtual meetings with me, is I'll set aside some time for you guys every week. I have to do it off of the clock since I work 10 to 7, so I have to do it either on a Friday evening or over the weekend. I normally set up separate sessions where I'm either using Blackboard Collaborate or Microsoft Teams, very similar to Skype, Zoom, or FaceTime, depending on what you've used, Duo. And I'll be signed in. You won't have to track me down or anything like that. You just jump in and just say, hey miss, I have a question about something. Can I show it to you? And it allows us to screen share. So either I can pull it up or you can pull it up and I can see what you're looking at. A lot of people also like to just pop into office hours just to get a chance to meet their other classmates. So for example, I might have a group of business students. I might have a group of students that are going to go to the nursing program. Remember, registration opens the week your class starts, so you might want to meet some of your classmates so you have somebody to take your classes with. For the earlier classes, it might not be that, it may not seem like it's that important, but once you start getting into those more advanced classes, you might want somebody to study with, and especially if you know, you get sick or some sort of family emergency occurs, you get injured. I've had people that have had to have emergency surgery, like you name it, it has happened. Yeah, you're gonna wanna make at least one friend in each class that can help you out in a pinch. And then what I'll probably do is I've been wanting to do some sort of, I don't wanna call it like an icebreaker, because it's not like super work or team building type things, but no, like I might do like a game night or something and invite all you guys to it, so then that way, you know, you'll get to know each other, not just in that classroom setting but outside of it as well, and build your support system and hold each other accountable, because that's what's going to keep you here, you know. Yeah, TCC is very unique in the sense that you'll see generations of people here. So you'll see the youth programs, starting with the kids that are in first grade over the summer. So you'll see the little bitty 6 and 7 year olds running around campus once we get to go back, all the way up to senior education. So people's grandparents and great grandparents are here. People in their 70s and 80s. I have several of them. And even in one of my classes, I had like 6 family members across 3 generations. You know, it's a family thing. And yeah, if you miss class, guess what? Everybody's on their phone texting you like, hey, where you at? You know, we're here, you need to be here. So that I've noticed helps keep people motivated, especially when things get really hard. Okay. So yeah, all your stuff's going to be over here. The biggest tech support thing that pops up with our classes, I don't see the menu. And your screen looks like this. You see this little arrow right here? You might need to expand it out. It tends to close if you're using a touch screen device on its own. So like if you're on your phone or like an iPad, you might have to actually click on that little side. I'm on my regular like PC operating system laptop, so mine populated automatically. But I notice sometimes on my work laptop, it does some weird stuff. Okay. And just to give you just a brief overview as far as why are you taking this class, and maybe 2 or 3 things that you guys will cover, I'm going to borrow an example from one of my previous classes. So we'll borrow summer 2020. Okay. So this was my class from last summer, right before I went on maternity leave. And then you'll see everything's going to be over here. So your syllabus or course instructor requirements document, I have it in WebAdvisor already. It's also in student planning, but I will also move a copy over here and send it to you via email, so that way you know what the office hours are, if there's any materials that you need for class, how things are going to be graded, because a lot of people don't understand the grading system for the different classes in college. Since I notice every department does it different for some reason. How to contact me if you need to make an appointment. Like maybe the office hours don't work. I have a lot of people working like 3rd shift and all sorts of stuff, and they're just not available. So we need to schedule a one-on-one. You can't actually schedule a one-on-one appointment with me during the day since I am at work. All you gotta do is email me, hey, can I meet with you on Monday at 10? Sure, let me see if I have an opening, and we'll do it. Any type of course resources will be here. So I put up stuff like if you need e-textbooks for some of your other classes. For our class, you will not need a book. Yay! So you get to save your money there. But there are some ebooks that are available. Also, I'll probably put the link in here for the library. I need to make sure I send that out. Even if you do have a laptop to work on for class, due to this heavy usage, because I know people are working from home and trying to take classes, a lot of people's devices are crashing on them. So if you need to get one from the library, you're able to do it. You can't pop up there because nobody's actually there. It's when you place an order, then they send somebody over there, and what they'll do is they'll load it in the trunk of your car and send you on your way. Okay. And then yeah, that also goes for, let me think. Okay, so yeah, for the class, I would recommend a traditional computer or like a traditional laptop. You can use a tablet. It just seems to work better with a traditional computer. I do not recommend trying to do everything on your smartphone, like especially because we have PowerPoint presentations for our class, we have some Excel documents, and if they're like size 6 font, it's extremely difficult to read and maneuver through those little tabs on such a small screen. So I would say if that's all you have to work on right now at home, I would plan to order a device from one of our 6 libraries, 5 or 6 libraries. And then we'll try to get that out to you. Okay. Then, like I said, announcements are going to be here. Your lessons are going to be here. Your discussion boards are going to be in their own little folder. I created a checklist for you with your due dates, so all that stuff will be here. The link for the office hours should be here. You can check your grades here. If you need tutoring for any of your other classes, it's going to be located here. We do have live tutoring sessions that are available. And then like your lessons are going to be here. Okay, so the purpose of our class is just to make sure that you are fully adjusted to college. And in my environment, it looks a little bit different because most of the time when I'm teaching, I teach at night and I teach on the weekends. I don't really have a whole lot of students that have just graduated from college, usually. I mean, from high school, typically. Most of my students are not 18. But I do have some. So, you know, we've got people coming in from different walks of life. The students that have just graduated from high school. I have a lot of students that have graduated from high school or college from outside the United States, since I'm one of the ESL advisors for my campus. I'm one of 2 people that does that. So that's a population that I get. And they were working professionals outside the United States and they want to continue their profession, but they need to master that English that goes with that specific profession. Like if they were a teacher or if they were an engineer or something like that. I have quite a few. I have students that already, you know, they went to work right after high school, or, you know, completing their high school equivalency program, their GED program. And now they've gotten to the point where, hey, you know what? I have plateaued in my career. And now they're telling me I need a sheet of paper that says I know how to do my job that I've been doing for the past 5 years to get a promotion or to get a raise. Yep, been there. Had that happen to me too. So we're going to get you that sheet of paper so that way you can move on to the next level. And then we also have the students that maybe they want to change careers because the industries have shifted, or they're nearing retirement and it's not so much as what do I want to be when I grow up, but what does my next chapter look like? And I also have some that are here to set an example for like their children or their grandchildren. I have plenty of parents that come back to college with their kids, or a lot of grandparents and great-grandparents that come back. You know, they always tell me, well, I'll tell my grandkids, you know, they got to go to school. And they're like, well, Granny, you didn't. And then so Granny puts her money where her mouth is, and Granny's like, okay, I'm in class, let's go. And that's always really interesting. And you'll see the grandparents around the campuses and stuff. You know, you'll get to know them. But I really like working with them. They're fun. And this is an idea of what some of our lessons are going to look like. And the reason that you guys have this particular class, and like even I had to take one at UT, but they had everybody take it. Because we didn't have developmental classes. It's like you had to test at college level to get in there, you know. Pretty much everybody was top 10% in their high school class, if not top 5%. But many of us were the first in their families to go to college. I was, you know. So yeah, I got there, but once I got there, I didn't know what I was doing. So it was really helpful to have that particular class to show me what the differences were, because the pace that you go through the material is exponentially faster. The amount of material that you have to go through is different, and then your responsibilities are different as well. So it was nice to have that foundation and those study tips there. So then, you know, even though I was literally building the plane as I flew it with no directions and no clue what kind of plane it was, it's like, haha, surprise at graduation, you know. This is to make that road a little bit easier than what, some of us had to go through previously. And that's my goal, is to help make that process a little bit smoother. I can't smooth out all of the bumps, but I can definitely help you guys prevent some of those little hiccups that I personally ran into. Okay. So we'll talk about some of the different resources that are available to you, especially in this virtual environment, such as the tutoring sessions, the libraries, all that kind of stuff. Time management, which is probably the biggest thing we need to cover. Again, because most of my students are, working 40, 50, 60 hours a week, or they might be working more than one job. A lot of them have children, significant others. They got to maintain the house. They are supervisors on the job. There's, the kids have activities that they have to do, or in this case, they might be teaching the kids from home too. So, now you're adding school into the mix onto a plate that's already running over. So those time management aspects are really important to make sure that you're still super at everything, but you're also taking care of yourself too, because we need you healthy too. And it's also a little bit different, because what you have to look at is for every 1 hour that you would spend in class, you need to allocate about 3 hours outside of class to study. That increases now that pretty much all of our classes are online now. Versus having that live instructor teach that class, or you're getting to do stuff in groups physically in class. You're having to read over that material, like for the lesson. Then you got to do the homework, like if there's reading for it, and then you have to do the actual activity. So I would say for certain classes, especially if it's something that doesn't come naturally to you, you might need to allocate more time than that. So, if you start getting up into the range of, I'm going to school full time, 12 hours, yeah, you're talking about 36 hours a week of study time at minimum. That's a job. So that's what you want to take into account. And so that way you know what you just signed up for. Personal finances and financial aid, because if you're moving on to that next stage, that next awesome level, we want to make sure that you're smart with your money and that you don't dig yourself into a big hole and stuff like that. You're here because, you're trying to move up or move into a better position, So we don't want to put more money in front of you, but then you make some bad money decisions and it puts you in a hole, because in that way we haven't done our job. So we want to make sure that you not only are well versed in financial aid, but personal finances as well, like budgeting and credit. So, you don't end up with really, really big issues. But learning preferences. So I personally encountered that change, like the way I learned when I was in undergrad at the age of 18 versus the way I learned when I went into my master's program at the age of 30 was completely different. And I'd say that first semester, it was a really hard adjustment because I was trying to do everything the way I did when I was 18, but I realized my mind didn't work that way anymore because I had a full-time job. I was teaching 4 or 5 classes at a time, and I was planning for my wedding. And we were trying to buy a house. There was a lot of stuff going on. And I was a graduate student full-time. So, I was lucky if I remembered what I had for breakfast. And then your goals. So typically when I'm helping people plan out their goals, not just in the classroom setting, but in the advising setting, I try to start at the end. So I'll ask them, what type of position are you trying to get? Are you already where you want to work and you're trying to apply for a specific position? Are they talking about promoting you? Are you trying to get into a specific industry? Have you looked at the job postings? If not, go look at them as if you're going to apply today. Because we need to know not only what type of education you need, but are there special certificates or licenses that you need? Do you need some additional experience on the way? So we need to factor in internships or clinicals or capstones, all those different things. So the last thing we want is for you to get all the way down to the end, you cross the stage, and then we can't get you hired. That's not what we want to do. We want to make sure that you're prepared up front. And that's going to take a lot of planning. And that's also going to help us figure out how many classes are, what would be doable for you, like if you're going to take summer classes, if you're going to take fall classes. Are you going to take 3 classes in the spring, 2 over the summer, 1 in June, 1 in July, 3 in the fall to graduate by whenever your goal is? And then also, we just don't want you to barely graduate either, you know, especially for certain professions, like my medical students, like those of y'all that are trying to apply to nursing, surgical technology, the sonography program, all that kind of stuff, physical therapy assistant, that's all selective admission. You have to have a specific GPA to get in there. Nurses, you know, you need at least a 3.4, and you need pretty much all A's and B's, especially in your sciences, because there's so many people that are applying. You need that to be competitive. So C is for college, you know, C is for commencement, C is for SIA, I'm out of here, doesn't cut it. It just doesn't. So we need to not only figure out a way to get you through your requirements efficiently, but we also need to make sure that you're doing it in a way where, you know, if you need to apply to a program, you're doing it one time and you don't need to do any victory laps and have to reapply. Okay? So those are some of the things that we'll be looking at in class. All right? So that's kind of the gist of the stuff that I have for class. All right, guys. So yeah, other than that, like I said, I think I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys get back to enjoying your spring break. I will get your stuff posted over the next couple of days for class and do kind of like an actual tutorial that shows you how to turn in some of the assignments and how to, you know, open them. Ones that are like Microsoft Word documents, I'll remind you, hey, you probably need to do those in Google Docs or export them to the Microsoft Office suite if you're on a Mac. Those are different types of things. We need to look at that as well over the next couple of days once school gets back started. But until then, like I said, welcome aboard. Hopefully you learned something new. That's my goal, that you walk away knowing something. And hopefully you make a friend or two in class. I'm hoping to do like a Family Feud or some sort of game to get you guys to get to know each other. So I'll send out some information for that to see just what kind of availability you guys have, and we can do a couple sessions over the next week or two. Especially before finals is like a way to decompress before everything really gets busy. And as always, if you need anything, feel free to email me. If you have Microsoft Teams, you can IM me on Teams. Jump in during my office hours. I'm here to make sure that you reach your respective goals. So looking forward to working with you. Take care, y'all. Bye.